Hello, and welcome to another edition of Delta Media Group's Tech Tuesday. Today, I've been kind of going with a theme lately, so that's what I'm going to try to do today. I'm going to keep going on last week's theme of the whole importing customers thing, and this time we're going to focus on the customer profile pages themselves. So now that you have all your customers imported from last week, we're going to go into the DeltaNet and take a look at our profile pages. So in we go. So here we are on the Agent Home Layout page, and from here, as I mentioned last week, you can add customers on this page. You can also access your customers from this page, just from this Customer Activity tab. Now, the standard way you will do it is we'll go over here to Customers and down to Customer Center. Now from here, at the top, you can see all of your new customers or customers with recent activity up here at the top. And then as we scroll down, our customer detail list is what contains everybody. So everybody that was assigned to you that came in as a lead, or everybody that you've imported or added manually, everybody is going to show up in this list. So if you're looking for someone specific, the easiest way to deal with this is to just go ahead and type their name in. So I just happen to be looking for the top person on the list, but got a lot of Charlies in here, actually. Who knew? There we go. So you start to type in their name, and as you type it, it'll auto-complete the list down to the person that you're looking for. You can also filter this list by group, or you can filter it by any of the labels that you've attached to customers, and those are those predefined labels. So to get to their information page or their profile page, you'll want to click on your customer's name, and that opens up your customer profile page. So from here, this is where you access all of the information specific to this customer. You can also see their history, you can see saved properties for them, and all that kind of thing. So we'll just go down the line and go through things and see what we've got. So to edit their information, like their contact information and personal information, you would do that here in the profile section. So this lists out everything that has to do with this specific customer account. As we go down the line, you can see their email, and then this is their password for their Home Finder account. As you go down the line, it lists out their phone number, address, all that, any extra information down here, whether they've opted out of emails is in here, their current status is defined in the system, and any of their company information is in here. And now if you want to edit any of that, we just click Edit Profile, and you can scroll down the list and you can change anything you need to. If you need to opt them out of email, for example, you would go down here and just click Yes for email opt-out, and then you can go down and click Done. You can also add them to groups here if you have your customers divided into customer groups. This is just one more way that you can add the customer to a group. So you could go in here, and if I want to put them in that group, I'll just check it. If I want to put them in more than one group, I can hold down the Command key or Control key, depending on what kind of computer you're using. And I can select multiple groups. And then when I go down to the bottom and click Done, that customer is now in those groups. Now the other thing that's nice about this section is if that customer has a cell phone number, it will put in these icons automatically that allow you to call or text the customer from the DeltaNet. So the text one, because I'm looking at this on a desktop computer, isn't going to do much. But the phone one will actually try to fire up FaceTime on this computer because it's an Apple computer that has FaceTime on it. But the whole point of this is if you access this page on mobile, you'll be able to use your mobile device, just scroll down and see their number, and then if you tap on this icon, it'll open up your phone's dialer and it'll call the customer. Same goes for the text icon. So if you click on that text icon, it'll open up your phone's text messaging app, and you can send out a message to the customer straight from here. So that is a pretty cool feature. Next, you can add notes to each customer, and these notes are date and time stamped also, so you can keep track of them that way, and it'll just list these out in a row. You can go back and delete them if you want to, but generally we suggest you just keep on adding notes, and then you'll have a full history of it here, so you'll be able to see every interaction you've had with that customer stored in notes. To add one, you just click Add a New Note. This is my new note. Very creative this morning. And there it is. Date and time stamped, and it looks like that is even the current date and time. How about that, huh? I'm always happy when stuff works. So the next thing you can do is you can create a to-do for this customer, and what that does is add a calendar event to your calendar in the DeltaNet. So I'll say Add New To-Do. By default, it sets it at 2 weeks out, I believe. Yep. You can change that using this calendar to whatever day you'd like. And then you can fill in the action you would like to take, and this is going to appear on, like, as the title of the calendar event, I guess is the best way to describe it. By default, it fills it in as follow-up call, but you can change that to whatever you want. And then it'll also create a note that will correspond with the same time. And then when you click Add, it tells you it was successful. And if we look here, follow-up action created, so it creates a note that I created a follow-up. And it will also create a calendar event that we'll be able to see. Let me run back to my welcome page. And there we are in our calendar widget on the welcome page, or there is also a to-dos widget down here. And there's our follow-up. So automatically added in. Alrighty, so back to Charlie's page. There we go. So the next thing you can do here is you can add saved searches and market watch reports to this customer. And I want to go over this more in depth in another video too, because there's a lot to this. But what it comes down to is you can create a saved search for a customer here. You would just click the saved search button, and then you can click by radius or by market. And then either define it by a map area or define it by the name of a market. And then what the system will do is every time it finds new listings that match the criteria for the search you've created, it'll send the customer an email letting them know. They'll also be able to log into their account and see it. But like I said, we'll go over that in depth in a future video. Same goes for market watch reports. You can set them up for a market watch. You just specify a market, again, either by radius or by the name of the market. And the system will automatically send them a monthly email giving them some information about that market. All right, so moving on, we have saved properties on this page. This will show every property that either they have saved manually or you can go in here and save properties for them. So if I go down here and click Add a Saved Property, I can type in an MLS number or start typing one in, or an address apparently. We'll go with this Main Street one. And now I just saved a property for this customer. So now if they log into their account, they can view their saved properties and that will be among them. So that is an easy way to save properties for a customer. Also, if you've seen them saving properties and you want to export a list of those, you can click Export Saved Property, and it will download a CSV to your computer that will contain the information for all the properties they've saved. So it's a nice way to keep a record of that, and you know, if you wanted to take them on showings and you had all the properties saved in here that they wanted to see, it'd be an easy way for you to pull up a list like that. And down the line, next we have campaigns, and in the email campaign system, this is one more way that you can add and remove customers from email campaigns. So here we can see that they were automatically added to this campaign because that's the way I have that campaign configured. But the rest I would add and remove customers manually. So if I wanted this customer to go in my action plan campaign, I would just click Add, and now this customer is automatically added to that campaign. So the idea, and we've gone over the campaign system stuff before, but the idea is you can go to the campaigns page and add and remove groups of customers or do the actual campaign configuration. But if you have just a single customer or you just added a new customer and you want to just throw them in a campaign real quick, the easiest way to do it is to just go to their profile here, click Add, and they're in the campaign. Or if you have a customer that says they don't want to get campaign emails, anything like that anymore, and they don't, they all have an unsubscribe link in them, so they could unsubscribe that way. But if they just told you that they didn't want to get these campaign emails anymore, so you just wanted to remove them from the campaign, you could just bring up their profile page like this and click Remove, and now they're no longer in that campaign. You'll see all your campaigns will be listed out here. All right, so the next thing in line is the history section. And what this will do is this system basically logs all of the emails that are automatically sent out to the customer by the system. So if they're getting home finder emails because they have a saved search, it will log those in here. It'll log their campaign emails in here. It'll also log some of their activity for when they went to the site or logged into the site or anything like that. So the nice thing about this section is not only can you make sure that the system is trying to send email out to them at the times you would expect it to based on what campaigns they're in or what searches they have saved, but we can narrow this down to specific things. So if I say I just want to see the campaign emails that were sent to this customer, we let it think about it for a minute. There we go. So we see the last one it sent out was April 1st. And we see that email went out from my Customer for Life campaign. This is the time it was sent. And we see that this customer hasn't opened it and hasn't clicked through. Because they haven't opened it, it would be tough for them to click any of the links in it to click through to the website. But, you know, it's good to know that it's working. So, so this is one of the things you can see here. Now you can also break these down to all the different kinds. So for Home Finder emails, if you wanted to see just those, you can bring those up. Another nice thing about the Home Finder emails ones is it will actually show you a picture of the Home Finder email itself, so you'll be able to see the information on it and see what went out to the customer exactly. So that is pretty cool. All right, so the next thing in line on this page is the messages system. So this is an easy way for you to send messages through to your customer. Now you can either send a message or an email, and they appear the same here, and they'll appear the same on the customer's profile page. But if I click Send New Email, I'll fill in a title, I'll fill in a message, I'll decide whether I want to be carbon copied on it, and when I click Send, it's going to log it here as a message, and it'll log it in their profile account as a message, and it will actually send them an email, so they'll get an email for this one. Whereas if I click Send New Message, the interface looks essentially the same, but I can't CC myself on it because it's not an email. And when I save it, it'll add the message in here, and it will make the message show up on that customer's portfolio account page. So when they log into your website the next time, they'll be able to see the message, but they won't have gotten an email for that message. So if you want to communicate something to them, but you don't want to send it an email just so that they see it the next time they come to your website, Send New Message is how you would do it. To give you an idea how those look, we can see that they're logged here. These are a couple I just sent through earlier today. The first one was an email, and then the second one was just a message. But if we go up to the top, there is a Login to Portfolio button. So what this does is when I click this, it takes me to my public website and logs me into this customer's portfolio account. So from here, right here is their messages widget, and you can see these two. So this one, the system sent in a corresponding email for, but this one only shows up in this section. So if I were the customer, I'd log into the site and see I have a message here, click on it, and then there's my message. And then I could reply to it, which will send a reply back to the agent, or I can delete it. So it's kind of like a miniature email system that only allows your customer to contact you through it. So there you go. Now the other nice thing is when you're logged into a customer's portfolio account like this, you can control all their individual elements of their portfolio account. So you can save a search on their behalf in here, and like I said, we'll go over that when we go over saved searches. You can also save more listings for them here, but you saw how you can do that through the DeltaNet. You can update their contact information, but you can do that through the DeltaNet as well. One nice thing about this page, though, is that they have an email opt-out widget that allows you to opt them out of individual types of emails, and you can only do that from their portfolio account here. Or, obviously, they can do that because they can log into their own portfolio account. So, that is how you get into a customer's portfolio account, and that is how their profile page works. So there we go. So, as always, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to send an email into support@deltagroup.com, or you can go ahead and put a comment on this video on YouTube or Facebook, or you can always call in if there's anything we can do for you. So, thanks a lot for joining me, and I will have something prepared for you again next week. Thanks.